Hi, I'm Keith Adams, Executive Director of New Jersey Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. New Jersey doesn't need to imagine what a major disaster looks like. We've lived it again and again, from Sandy's devastation to Ida's flash floods, from coastal storms to inland tornadoes. Our state has become a proving ground for what climate-driven disruption really means for families, businesses, and entire communities. But here's the truth we don't say out loud often enough. Our disaster recovery system is not built for the world that we live in now. And unless we fix that, New Jerseyans will continue to suffer long after the floodwaters recede. As executive director of New Jersey VOAD, the statewide network of nonprofits, faith-based groups, and community organizations that support residents before, during, and after disasters, I see the cracks in our system every day. I see the families who fall through the gaps in federal programs. I see the small towns overwhelmed by paperwork. I see the nonprofits doing heroic work with shoestring budgets and no guarantee of reimbursement. And I see something else, a better way forward. Well, let's start with the obvious. When disaster strikes, federal agencies like FEMA, HUD, HHS, and SBA mobilize. But their programs are slow, fragmented, and difficult for survivors to navigate. Funding can take months or years to arrive. Rules shift from one disaster to the next. Survivors are forced to retell their story repeatedly to different agencies, each with its own portal, paperwork, and eligibility maze. Meanwhile, nonprofits are already there. They know which families are displaced, which seniors lost their medication, which renters were missed in damage assessments, and which undocumented workers and residents are afraid to seek help. They provide case management, home repairs, mental health support, volunteer coordination, and spiritual care. They fill the gaps federal programs cannot reach, but they're rarely funded or treated as the essential partners they are. If New Jersey wants a disaster recovery system that is fast, fair, and resilient, we must stop treating nonprofits as nice to haves and start treating them as core infrastructure. That means prioritizing and formalizing nonprofit roles before the next storm hits. New Jersey should establish multi-year contracts with New Jersey VOAD, its members and partners, and community-based organizations. These agreements should define roles, reimbursement processes, and data sharing protocols so nonprofits can scale quickly when needed. Smaller organizations, all often the most trusted in our marginalized communities, need sustained investment in training, compliance, and multilingual outreach. We also need a unified, survivor-centered system. Instead of forcing families to navigate separate portals for federal and state programs, New Jersey should build a single statewide intake and referral platform that nonprofits can access. Survivors shouldn't have to tell their story 5 times to 5 different agencies. A coordinated system would reduce duplication, speed assistance, and restore dignity to the process. And we must confront the funding reality. Federal dollars are slow and often insufficient. New Jersey should explore dedicated resilience and recovery funds, such as insurance surcharges or resilience fees, that can be deployed quickly and equitably. These funds can support populations excluded from federal aid and provide rapid grants to nonprofits in the critical early weeks of recovery. Finally, nonprofits must be integrated into mitigation and resilience planning, not just response and recovery. They bring lived experience, cultural competence, and deep knowledge of community vulnerabilities. Their voices are essential in shaping climate adaptation strategies, hazard mitigation plans, and equitable resilience investments. New Jersey has some of the strongest nonprofit networks in our country. We have faith communities that mobilize overnight, We've had long-term recovery groups that have stayed with families for years. We have community organizations that know their neighborhoods better than any map or model ever could. But we cannot keep relying on goodwill alone. We need a system that recognizes nonprofits as the backbone of community resilience and funds them accordingly. As disasters grow more disruptive, New Jersey has a choice: continue patching the old model or build a new one that reflects the realities of our time. A model where government, nonprofits, and private partners work as a coordinated system. A model where survivors experience clarity instead of confusion. A model where every community, not just the well-resourced one, has a fair chance to recover. Nonprofits are ready. Communities are ready. The question now is whether we will build the system that New Jersey deserves.